Have you ever had the feeling that something was wrong? Some things didn't make sense. Why certain content creators go viral and some don't? What is it about them? Their characteristics? That one thing bothering you like a splinter in your mind. Today we're going to be discussing MrShowTym's theory of YouTube relativity. You're watching the showcast. Welcome back to the MrShowTym showcast. I was watching Candace Owens video recently, and I was reminiscing as to Candace Owens' journey from the time where she was less relevant compared to now, and what propelled her to the fame and success she has now. Back in 2016, I was predominantly listening to the pickup artistry guys. My first year of university, and because that's where my mind was really trying to master the art of pickup artistry, and this was before the whole Me Too movement broke out, and yeah, so I was doing my fair share of cold approaches and falling flat on my face on pretty much every attempt. Okay, I was listening to guys like Mr. Lucario, Steve the Dean Williams, Rollo Tomasi, Donovan Sharp. Who else? There's a few guys that are just no longer as relevant as they were. The whole MGTOW movement, Darius M. The works. Alpha male strategies. Steph is cold. So yeah, man. Until Harvey Weinstein got charged, the whole Me Too movement broke out, and Harvey Weinstein got charged and convicted, and yeah. And then MGTOW disappeared. Some of the guys, what's his name? Alexis RSD, Real Social Dynamics. They just saw disappeared. Because I was ecstatic by the internet. I was following these videos on how to grow my Instagram and how to get more followers on Instagram, right? And these were better times. These were better days of the internet, because this was a time where Instagram was still an independent platform. This was during a time where Instagram wasn't owned or bought by Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook, or is now known as Meta. Yeah, the algorithm was different. I was watching a guy named Hey Dominic on YouTube. He basically gives social media growth advice, how to grow your social media, and then listening to guys like Daryl Eves and Roberto Blake. And these guys will give advice, talk about, all you need to do is, post content of value. And, it's these canned responses. At first I was like, word, let me go for it. Okay. And I tried posting, because my Instagram pretty much was like the same as a lot of our Instagrams, just taking these dark room, low quality resolution selfies of us just wearing a normal shirt and be posing these low quality pictures, really. And looking back in hindsight, it's that's just like some low quality resolution ish, right? And until I stumbled upon Dan Locke. Shout out to Dan Locke. I like his delivery. I like his advice, not just on how to grow your social media, but in terms of business overall. He has very good business acumen, Dan Locke. He talks about wushu, the art of war. He was a very interesting content creator, to be honest. Uh, I like his Dan Locke's delivery, man. He creates like this warm feeling in your heart. It's like, yeah, thank you for the advice. I'll go try it out now. Okay. So yeah, man. It's been quite some time since the last time I watched a Dan Locke video. But this was like 2016, 2017, 2018. Yeah, man. Politics wasn't as a popular fad as it is now. Like I said, I was still focusing on pickup artistry. I was listening to the roller to masters of the world. And I remember the reason I was thinking back, how on earth, I can't remember exactly the time where I stumbled upon, I knew about Candace Owens. Okay? I was listening to, The Angry Man when the original founders, the all-star team, Alan Roger Curry, Mumi Obsidian Ali, The Angry Man, Donovan Sharp, O'Shea Duke Jackson, Kevin Samuels while he was still with us, God rest his soul. The original all-star team, before they had like these falling outs with each other, these beefs. Okay, this was before the time podcasting was a thing. Okay, it was just very few content creators. This was before the time of PBD podcast, and way before Andrew Tate became relevant. Although I heard that Andrew Tate has been on the internet for 10 years prior to his YouTube skyrocket fame. Okay, and then I thought to myself, what is it about these guys? Because these guys, your Candace Owens, they've had like, there was a time where they weren't as relevant. Having a 500k subscribers was like something to wow at. Now, as I was listening to the Roller to Masters of the World, they just mentioned her name briefly. They would mention Candace Owens' name briefly. It's like, oh, Candace Owens, this, that. She Roller to Masters says, oh, she used to go by the nickname Red Pill Black and whatnot, and she was in the political sphere. But I would see Candace Owens and they would just mention her like, oh, she's part of the, feminist tribe, tradcon community, women, conservative women. Oh, Candace Owens said this about, she criticized the black community. And this was at a time where, all I knew about Candace is she was criticizing the community, and rightfully so. And of course, she was the lady, the black female that the community disliked because she was holding them accountable. Okay. So yeah, I've never really stumbled. 2016. Just keep in mind, this was 2016, while I was still being red pill myself, just consuming content. Okay, this was before I became a content creator myself. I was just consuming content during Manosphere 1.0. Okay. So I'd hear about Candace Owens. Who's this Candace Owens? They would do like reactions, a review on a particular soundbite that she made, and I'm like, okay, I knew the name Candace Owens, but I never really thought to actually go over and look her up. And I'm like, nah, these are the guys I'm listening to, and yeah, that's that. Um, the Manosphere evolved. Okay, certain guys, they branched out, and then this was approaching this was during the Trump's first term as president. We would mention Donovan Sharp would like draw comparisons to the type of women that vote Democrat compared to the BMs who would lean more. They were leaning more to the Republican, the conservative side because of gender dynamics and whatnot. Okay, so they were drawing comparisons how the Democrats, these are your man-hating feminists, and men are steadfast moving away from the Democrats towards the Republicans, and these were eye-opening. These were like insightful talking points. So I was like, wow. And still, Candace Owens was like, I remember seeing Candace Owens in like, I don't know if this was like a court press hearing or a Senate press hearing, and she was, going head to head or toe to toe with one of the senators, one of the judges. I can't remember exactly. And the Donovan Sharps do like these reactions. I'm like, yeah, your Rollo Tomasi's, and it's like, this is somewhat interesting, okay? But still, I didn't know who Candace Owens, what she was really all about, her channel. This was before Candace Owens was with the Daily Wire, at least as far as I know, okay? This was before, during the Ben Shapiro destroys woke college students, And I'm thinking, and looking at back in hindsight, this was before the time of Matt Walsh. So yeah, fast forward, okay? Fast forward to 2017, fast forward to 2018. Manosphere, we started to like, the Manosphere community Red Pill community went from, the Manosphere phase, and it evolved from not just simply pickup artistry, thanks to, Harvey Weinstein, that thing that happened to him. I think some of it is embellished. I think he's a fall guy, and they just wanted to really destroy him. They just really wanted to throw him under the prison. I do not defend Harvey Weinstein, but I'm all about, look, punish him for what he really did. Don't exaggerate and embellish the story just to ramp up the charges. That's what I'm against. So after Harvey Weinstein, your pickup artistry, your real social dynamics, your own cooks, they're like, okay, if you wanna, grow your Instagram, don't post like these low quality, like these mirror selfies of guys with the 6-pack abs. That's just so cringe. Girls are not attracted to that. Post stuff of value. Post being on a mission, okay? And at the time, I was trying for varsity cup rugby. I was trying to become a professional athlete, okay? And I took the advice, post pictures of you just having fun, okay? And this was a time where that worked, and it still kind of does. And that's how Dan Bilzerian became, a thing. He became famous because he was posting the type of lifestyle that most men were trying to achieve, but we weren't at that level because we didn't have Dan Bilzerian's money. We didn't have Dan Bilzerian's access to these models, okay, these beautiful, skinny, suffering from scurvy, skinny, boned models, okay. So yeah, Dan Bilzerian, the reason why Dan Bilzerian became, the king of Instagram is because he achieved and he mastered what so many of us were trying to achieve back in the day. So yeah, I started to review my own Instagram, pictures of you just like being with guys, like, that's nobody cares about that. And coming back to Dan Locke, he said that, look, if you want to become like relevant, if you want to have internet fame or success, he said that, look, you don't post stuff related to you because nobody cares about you, at least not yet. Okay, so you're not gonna come up on the internet and say, hey guys, I woke up this morning and I had breakfast. I had Wheat Bix or Kellogg's cereal for for breakfast, and I work a 9 to 5 job in a small office cubicle at some simple at business administration job. Nobody cares about that because that's not unique. That's not special. That's not something to wow at. Like, yeah, you and everyone else. Why should everyone? Why should we care? So you must try to be, larger than life, at least from a perception wise. You must try to be larger than life. And Dan Bilzerian mastered that craft very well because he had money and he could afford to. Now, back in the day, you know how us guys were just messaging girls, these beautiful girls, and I didn't know how the game was played. I thought that a lot of these girls that had this high following were posting booty selfies and whatnot. Well, yes, I was sliding their DMs, not knowing that how the game is played, not knowing that these girls are not just, because in my mind, I thought that these girls are just next door neighbor girl who's single and she's just waiting for a guy to just approach her, and she's single, and a lot of us guys we assumed she was single because we didn't see any guys in her gallery, Instagram gallery, any of her pictures. So we thought that if I shoot my shot, I would make it too. Yeah, let me slide in them DMs. And this was at a time where, before the Instagram algorithm had the whole hidden requests, hidden message requests. So you 6 times out of 10 you get a response. I know I got responses. Again, this was before the time Meta had a monopoly on a lot of these social media companies, your Instagram, your WhatsApp. This was before the merging of all these thingy. And by the way, remember when Instagram, its logo was like a camera, like an actual PNG logo of a camera, like specific camera, not like this simplified square with the circle with the little dot new logo it is now. This is what I hate about companies nowadays. They go from these more detailed logos to a more simplified logo. That's what happens when a hostile takeover ensues. Not necessarily a hostile takeover, but they're being bought by another company. They change the appearance or something, typically the logo, or in recent iterations the name. When Elon Musk bought Twitter and is now called and he turned it to X, a simple X. I prefer the old Twitter logo, and I still prefer Twitter being called Twitter. I still prefer tweets being called tweets, not posts. But that's neither here nor there. I digress. Okay. Not to worry, I'll get to the main topic of the points as the video goes on. Stay tuned, and please like the video. Again, this was Dan Locke was like advising guys like, look, don't just come on the internet and expect you're gonna get YouTube fame or internet success by talking about yourself, because no one knows who you are. Above all else, more importantly, no one cares who you are yet. You have nothing of value to offer. Now, if you wanna get like some subscribers, some followers on Instagram, post things of value that people wanna hear. What is it that people wanna hear? Okay, there's a reason why Alpha M is very popular. He averages around like, I don't know, like 2-4 million now, 6 million views per video. Even his old videos are getting like massive traction. And shout out to him, he found the right formula, and it's not only talking about uh, fashion, men's grooming. His delivery is all the more charismatic because there's three elements at play here. You get your delivery, your pitch, your overall pitch thingy, your style. Okay, that pertains to your appearance. I have more like a simple approach, a simple appearance to my YouTube videos, to my show for now. Okay, and then you have your message. How potent is your message? Okay, what are you talking about? Are you talking about politics? Are you talking about you're on the what kind of talk points do you have to offer? Okay, and then there's you, the content creator, your personality, your person. Okay, are you a likable person? Are you not so much of a likable person? And the reason why Andrew Tate became famous is not necessarily because of him as a person. Now keep these three elements at play. You, the person, your pitch or delivery, and your message, the potency of your message. Okay? Now, Andrew Tate, he's charismatic, so he's got the delivery. He's got the message. What was his message? Before Andrew Tate became an internet sensation, he skyrocketed to fame. He needed a particular channel. Andrew Tate didn't even go viral on his own channel. Yes, he had his own channel on YouTube before getting banned. This was apparently, according to Patrick Bet David, he started YouTube somewhere around 2019, 2020. And he himself was platforming famous people like Kobe Bryant and Mike Tyson, celebrities. So how did PBD become relevant? His podcast become successful. I've noticed, again, I've discussed this before in my previous videos, okay? There are three types of content creators, and I don't mean to drift off. Just stay with me. There are three types of content creators. You get your host, your hosting type of your content creators that are primarily hosts. They bring on other well-known people to the platform, and that's how, by proxy, they become they gain like subscribers, like your Timple, your Fresh and Fit, and typically your Patrick Bet David. Now, Fresh and Fit, shout out to Myron Gaines himself, because he can sort of like do both, because Myron Gaines has a message of value to offer when he gets hosted individually to the Hodge Twin podcast on Timple. He has some value to offer aside from his typical hosting girls, the after hours show. He himself has some knowledge, some potent messages to bring out there to the public, such as his spin-off channel, Fed Reacts. So aside from Fresh and Fit, Myron Gaines has proven that he can, be versatile on other topics as well. He has a law enforcement background as a federal agent. Okay, so shout out to Myron for that. Now, Fresh, Walter Weeks. I've heard people talk about how Fresh is useless and he doesn't bring much to the table. He just sits there and stutters. Yeah, I've tried messaging Walter himself and like, hey, dude, listen, Fresh is actually intelligent. He has more to offer than he actually lets out. Okay? He has more to offer. It's just that, again, coming back to my, the three elements, you can have a potent message, but if your delivery is flawed, you're stuttering and you're busy uttering and I do it too. I'm like that's something I also need to work on. So that's also a character flaw of mine as well. Something I need to work on and improve. You see, I just did it right now. Again, I just did it. So see, so Walter, him as a person, not very likable. Imagine Fresh if he did a podcast by himself. No one cares. Are you likable? Are you a type of content creator that is able to draw? Do you have an appeal about you? Unfortunately, Fresh does not. Myron does not have, him as a person. No, not really. But at least Fresh has one of these elements, and that's his message. Fresh is intelligent. It's just that his delivery, stuttering, and him as a person, he's a boring character. Myron has at least also one of these character elements to ride off of, and that's his messaging. His delivery is charismatic. Mine is also someone like a boring character. Okay, yeah, his delivery is he's not as charismatic, or him as an individual person, he's not as appealing, not as much as Andrew Tate. Now look at Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate has all three of these elements mastered. Okay, pause, no homo. He is somewhat polarizing as a person. Okay, so you have him as a person. He's a billionaire. He's got the bad boy archetype going on. MMA fighter, masculinity, smokes a cigar. Charisma. He's got the charisma. He's loud, boisterous and loud. Okay? Yeah. Women are terrible at driving, and I don't care. Send me to jail. Send me to jail. D-Cots, come get me. He's got the delivery. He's able to maintain the audience attention. He's able to retain the attention of the audience. Message. Coming back to what I had to say about PBD. Andrew Tate was very smart. He had certain things that happened in his life with regards to how True Geordie pronounced the Matrix. So True Geordie doesn't he doesn't say the Matrix. No, he says the Matrix. These Irish and Scottish, man, they're British, but the English they sound, how you say, bizarre. They don't pronounce certain syllables of the certain letters. To them, they're just silent. So he doesn't say the Matrix. They say the Matrix. Okay, so yeah, Andrew Tate had certain things that happened in his life. Matrix attacks, and I don't think Andrew Tate would have gone viral if he talked about, that PPD podcast where they're in a hotel, was Patrick Bet-David and Adam Sosnick and him, just the three of them. And it's just, talking about, how he got thingy. No, the Matrix just presses a button, my friend, and you get back, you get deplatformed, you get your accounts frozen, your bank accounts frozen. Yeah. So Andrew Tate was very strategic. He saw how Patrick Bet-David was an up and coming, growing platform, hosting very famous people, your Ice Cubes and whatnot. And then came Andrew Tate, and he dropped a bomb on how the Matrix works, and that interviews skyrocket into, relativity. To this day, the last time I checked, I mean, last year that video interview had like what, 4 million views, and now it's around 14 million, and still growing. Okay, so yeah, Andrew Tate has the charisma down. He's wearing sunglasses indoors where there's no sunlight. So he's got the aesthetics. He got the aesthetics right. Okay, he's got his Bugatti in the background while he's busy doing, showing off, right? Yeah, and that's how Andrew Tate became an internet sensation. He got banned, and many people were wondering why he got banned. That's why people searched his name. Not initially because, I mean, all these elements, the stars aligned perfectly for Andrew Tate at the time. And Andrew Tate made the Manosphere because we were an underground brotherhood, okay? We were supposed to be underground, locker room type of talk. And Andrew Tate, just after Kevin Samuels, I mean, Kevin Samuels wasn't the first to make the Manosphere go mainstream. It was first Kevin Samuels. Unfortunately, he took the hokey pokey and he passed away. Very sad. And then next up in line was Andrew Tate, and he had a different message altogether. And then people were just wondering, why was this person banned? Why was he deplatformed? Why? And then came the allegations. So I thought to myself, Andrew Tate didn't become famous because of his previous old videos he did. No, it was more like a combination of all those things. But also, it was mainly because of the things that were happening in his life, and people wanted to know exactly why would something happen to this individual person. And of course, he got thrown in Yale. Decot kicked down his door. He got thrown in Yale. These silly trumped up charges, no pun intended. Yeah, and that's how Andrew Tate, because yeah, and of course on top of that he was, promoting masculinity and whatnot. Now let's come back to Candace Owens. Trust and believe, I'm leading up to my main topic that I really want to talk about. So the game has changed, okay? I had to go back to 2016, 2017. So the internet, as we know it, sort of like evolved and morphed into something different. You coming on the internet and posting like your gym workout pictures of you being buff and whatnot, and people were sort of like getting tired of that. The typical proverbial showing off. I'm in a luxurious hotel. Oh, look at me. I went to gym. Dude, everyone's gymming nowadays. Okay, everyone has, muscles. A lot of girls have these amazing shapes and figures and booties and whatnot. It's nothing new. Okay, when everyone does the exact same thing, it nullifies the sensation. What is syndrome? The movie Mr. Incredibles, The Incredibles. Syndrome. That ginger hair guy, that villain. He said that if I make everyone super, everyone will become super, and when everyone is super, no one will be. The reason why Dan Bilzerian is an Instagram king is because he's able to do things that not many people are able to do. He has access to girls, and that not many men can do that. He's flying over, he has guns, showing off his guns, his gun collection, and in a swimming pool, how many guys can do that? Not many. So that's what made Dan Bilzerian special at the time. He was living the dream that most men wanted. And then the internet was slowly, steadfast, morphing. Instagram was bought by Facebook, Meta. the algorithm changed, and that frustrated some of us because, like, also before Google gained acquisition of YouTube, there was no such thing as censorship. Not really. I mean, there was no censorship of voices, and people could just go ham and talk about whatever they want, and they got like the algorithm was more kinder back in the day before Google gained acquisition to YouTube. Now, what you should know about the big boys, okay? When something becomes a little too relevant, it starts to become traction. The Mayricks, as Geordie would put it, the Mayricks, it does a hostile takeover, controls it, politicizes it, because now Joe Rogan. Apparently, Joe Rogan. I mean, he has like what 13 million subscribers, and Joe Rogan is not. He's not a newbie to the scene. Joe Rogan has been on the internet podcasting even before podcasting was a thing. Alex Jones, Infowars. The turn is a force, gay, and they want to point the finger at you. Oh my god! Hey man, shout out to Alex Jones, man. Alex Jones, I respect Alex Jones because he's a veteran in the game when it comes to the political sphere. Apparently, Alex Jones has been going ham on the new world order agenda as early as 2001. I didn't know this. I learned this from Myron Gaines. I was watching Myron Gaines Fed reacts to the Osama bin Laden breakdown, the documentary, and it's some. I think that was it. Might be his other Fed reacts breakdowns, and he just mentioned how Alex Jones, man. Hey, listen, he's been going at this since 2001. I'm like, what? I was in grade 1 in 2001. So man, look, man, shout out to Infowars, okay? Now, there's still a fair amount of people, I think from my side of the world, who still don't know who Alex Jones is. They know who Dr. Jordan B. Peterson is, they know who Ben Shapiro is, but only as of recently. Recently as, let's say, 2019 onwards. But prior, you walk around like, do you know who Ben Shapiro is? People would be like, not really. People my age at the time, they were like, they knew who PewDiePie was. Where's PewDiePie now? Nowhere to be seen. Now it's Mr. Beast. And his allegations came out with, engaging with a certain demographic he shouldn't be because they're young. Disgusting stuff. Anyway, where was I? Yes, Alex Jones. Alex Jones has been going hard in the paint. I mean, if I had to go that long just doing this for decades, I think I would, at some points, I would like burn out. But then again, Alex Jones has been relevant for a long time. He's been platformed on Piers Morgan. Also, Piers Morgan, it was fun to realize how Piers Morgan is also his show, Piers Morgan Uncensored. I don't know if it was called Piers Morgan Uncensored back in the day, but his show is very old. I thought Piers Morgan, he first really became relevant when he was over at Good Morning Britain with Susanna Reid at Good Morning Britain. I knew Piers Morgan back then, but not really. I think I started to know about Piers Morgan on Good Morning Britain. Yeah. And then I started to realize, I found out that Piers Morgan actually he was actually the first season 1, the winner of The Apprentice. When Donald Trump used to be the boss of the celebrity business show entrepreneurship, The Apprentice. Money, 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 money. Okay, my sister, I have two sisters. My sister used to watch the Apprentice back in the day, in the 2000s, and that's how I knew that my first time I ever knew about Donald Trump. You're fired. You know, he's very famous for that catchphrase of his, and it's all up until recently I learned that Piers Morgan was the first winner of season one, and Donald Trump and Piers Morgan, they go way back. Okay, so yeah, that was. It's like, man, you guys have been like, you guys are veterans in this game, man. There's so much that just went over my head, and I just, you do your research, and I'm like, oh, you used to, even Joe Rogan. I used to watch Fear Factor in the early 2000s, but I didn't like recognize that the host was Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan was still young and he had hair. He had a full head of hair. I'm like, and I go back to the old Fear Factor episodes. I'm like, that's Joe Rogan. That. So yeah, man. And then, like, massive respects to these guys. These guys have a long journey to relevancy and success. Fear Factor. I don't know who Joe Rogan was. I used to, but I'm like, Joe Rogan. Oh, Joe Rogan. I start to really like recognize to know about Joe Rogan. With his podcast or UFC. I'm like, wait, that guy used to host Fear Factor. That's Joe Rogan. Oh my goodness! Oh, how did that go over my head? Right? Yeah, man. The internet changed. More people start to join the fray in terms of podcasting, and Rollo Tomasi called it out that a lot of people are pretty much going to nullify our work. And when I say our, I wasn't included in our back then, because I was still listening in. I was still getting red pilled. I was still like learning from my predecessors. And Rollo Tomasi, at some point, he said, look, watch. A lot of people are going to join the fray, because this is now an opportunity economy. I didn't mean to quote Kamala Harris. An opportunity economy. People are now going to take our red pill talking points and they're just going to make it a grift. They're just going to grift off of it. And that's exactly what happened. Because now there's now a market for your Pearl Davis, Just Pearly Things of the world. And that's exactly what Just Pearly Things did. And that's a huge reason why Just Pearly Things is not relevant. Because, she's a woman. And as a woman, you're going to talk about male talking points, whereas you haven't had any experience, no lived experience. And Andrew Tate just revealed how to become, how to finesse the algorithm. You pay a bunch of people to just constantly promote your stuff. You pay a bunch of people because Just Pretty Things' rise to fame was very suspect. She just went from whatever couple of thousand subscribers she had, and she skyrocketed within 4 months. And this is how you know that this is like, it was very intentional. It had nothing to do with her saying things that, like we wanted to hear. I mean, how many people, we have a topic and you refer to Pearly Things and like, let me hear what Pearly Things has to say. Maybe a small minority of women feminists that are triggered by her saying women shouldn't vote. Yeah, okay, she has a small, minute audience that really engage with her, but we don't take her seriously, and rightfully so. Just Pretty Things, she skyrocketed from whatever subscribers she had to, and she just skyrocketed. She reached 1 million, and the trajectory of her rise and gaining of subscribers How come she's not gaining any subscribers now? How come now she's just stagnant, pretty much, at like 1.7 million subs? How come she's not growing now? Because she crossed the finish line. No more of these, I don't want to say bots, because Pretty Things is, somewhat rich, so she can afford to pay certain people and people who working inside the YouTube studios, YouTube headquarters, to adjust the algorithm, or pay dozens and thousands and thousands and thousands of accounts to just like your pictures, get that watch time, and rise with shorts. Which brings me to Angry Man. Angry Man, I'm coming at you. I have a bone to pick with you. A respectful bone. Pause. I mean, a contention. A bone of contention. Pause. No bones. Okay, that sounds pause. No bones. I have a point of contention. A constructive critique. I wanna talk about with regards to your growth and how you can, how you're just wasting potential. So, Candace Owens as well. I scrolled down to Candace Owens' channel like recently, like a week ago. I scrolled to the very bottom and I saw how Candace Owens used to do speaking engagements with Dinesh D'Souza and someone else, not Mark Lamont, some other guys. It was Candace Owens, Dinesh D'Souza, and I think Dan Bongino. I think Dan Bongino is still working as a Secret Service agent. Okay, so look, if you're gonna have like massive YouTube success, if you want people to take you seriously, you must have a prolonged track record in the game, some skin invested in the game, to show that you are a veteran, you know what you're talking about. You're not just gonna come on YouTube one day and look. This happens once in a blue moon, where you get up on YouTube and your first video goes viral. That hardly ever happens, and if it does, there's a difference between going viral and being relevant. Remember the crazy plain lady, okay? Because now we live in a culture where people will do stupid things just to gain fame and clout. The plain lady. I don't know what that guy is, but that guy is not real. You know that crazy plain lady? And then you have the trad wife, white lady using the N-word, that, these ninjas, they need to step their game up, while she's busy cooking, has an apron on. I want a man who's going to protect me because, these illegal migrants are coming surging in. I want a ninja that's going to come, Those two women went viral, but are they relevant? Are they still a talking point? No, not really. We don't even know who their real names are. I mean, a couple of, Anton Daniels, Candace Owens did a reaction out of them. Candace Owens even brought her on the show. And that was it. That was it. Next, yesterday's news. What's next? Okay? So this is why people like Alex Jones are taken more seriously. This is why people like Candace Owens are taken more seriously. This is why people like The Angry Man, Alan Roger Curry, rest in peace, Mumia Obsidian Ali, Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels used to do fragrances back in 2016, men's grooming, simple advice, and then he evolved from giving men advice, men giving pushback. They called him all sorts of flamboyancy, and he switched over to women, and then came the average at best lady, and that went viral. Now, you could question how Kevin Samuels was alleged to pay World Star Hip Hop for that particular clip to go viral, and that's how he became a household name. So there's multiple ways of going viral, folks. And trust and believe, man, it's not worth doing some stupid stuff on the internet, jumping off of buildings and and engaging in buffoonery and tomfoolery, and just to get your 15 seconds of fame. No. I prefer the old school way. I prefer rolling up my sleeves, and actually delivering some message that could withstand the test of time. Now, Candace Owens, man, shout out to her. She has an amazing journey. She went from an individual, well, I don't know about individual, a speaking in engagement speaker, whatnot, to her working with the Daily Show, and then politics became a thing with the whole Trump election first term, and then they stole the election. That thing in 2020 happened, and then everyone just jumped the bandwagon on politics, just like how Rollo Tomasi said. Okay, Rollo Tomasi as well. He has a long history of being on the internet. Way before a lot of us some of us were still in primary school when a lot of these guys were still doing red pill thingy. We are newbies. This is my 5th year. 2024 is my 5th year of being a red pill Manosphere content creator. So also me, I'm building my profile, and it seems like it was just yesterday. I just graduated from university, and I was still like invested in the game with regards to the Manosphere, and I still am. And my goodness, it's been 5 years. It felt like it was just like a couple of years ago. I have now half a decade doing this, and I still have less than 1,000 subscribers. But yeah, that's what men do. Just keep grinding. Keep grinding. This is another lesson I've learned. Okay, men, our success is prolonged. Okay, we need like time to marinate in our craft. Because look at Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, his height, okay, of his YouTube fame came in his 50s. Donald Trump, the height of his success in life was him becoming president. And that, how old was Trump when he became president in 2015, 16? He was in his late 60s or early 70s, somewhere there. But Trump has had success. He's been a celebrity pretty much most of his life. But he really went next level with his presidency. And this happened rather later in his life, in his 70s. So as men, look, never delete yourself. Never think that you're not worth much, because in your 20s, you're nobody. You have less consequence to the world. You don't know much. People don't take you seriously. Your 30s, just keep grinding. Just keep grinding. Mess around with and try to find some success. And now, shout out to you. You may gain some success early on in your life by becoming a professional athlete, because if you're gonna become a professional athlete, it's usually in your 20s, because that's your physical prime. Okay, but guess what? Most athletes, being a professional athlete, the lifespan of an athlete is more like a decade, 10 years. That's if you get that far. That's if you're lucky to get that far. But guess what? After you retired, as soon as you're done playing that last match, you become irrelevant. You become a has-been. No one talks about you. The press doesn't talk about you anymore. Yes, they can bring you on for, expert analysis a couple of years after you've retired. But yeah, that's it. You're no longer the talking point. You're no longer scoring points. You're no longer scoring goals, scoring tries. You're done. This is why I think me and rugby not working out, in terms of me becoming a professional rugby player. I think that dream not working out, actually, it's a blessing in disguise. Although I'm still kind of salty about it. If I had to live double lives, I would still, try to pursue the dream. If there was if I get to be two people at once, yeah, it's still. But even Dwayne Johnson, man, he tried his luck with the NFL, didn't work out. And imagine if Dwayne Johnson actually worked out as an NFL, we wouldn't have Dwayne The Rock Johnson, if you smell, as a WWE wrestler. Much more a Hollywood, most paid celebrity. Roman Reigns. There would be no Roman Reigns in the WWE because he also played the NFL. It didn't work out. He pivoted over to the WWE. Now we have the Tribal Chief Goldberg. Huh? So just because something doesn't work out in your life, men, I'm telling you this. This is my message to young men. Don't ever delete yourself. Okay? Don't ever do that. Because you don't know, you could be the next big thing somewhere in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s if you live that far. If you live that long. Keep grinding. Whatever it is, whatever your craft is, whatever it is that you're good at, keep grinding. Most men of consequence, their success comes, in the later years. Let's say after 30. That's why the minimum age to be eligible to be a president is 35. Because they know that you can't be the leader of the world being young in your 20s because we're still immature. I thought, when I was young, I looked at 20-year-olds as adults. Up until you get to be 20 and you still see that, there's still some brain development that still needs some more marinating. There's still parts of our brain that is still raw. It needs to marinate. Okay, it needs to still be cooked. Medium, well done. Okay? So keep grinding, folks. Folks, listen. Men, gentlemen, keep grinding. Steve Jobs founded Apple not in his 20s. I think it was in his 40s? Jeff Bezos, who was Jeff Bezos in his 20s? He was a nobody. He was a nerd. Who is he now? A global superpower, one of the most powerful men in the world. Elon Musk. I looked at Elon Musk's old photos when he was still here in South Africa. He was still trying to make it, collaborating with your Russell Brand. Sorry, no. Who's the guy that owns Virgin? Who's the guy that owns Russell? I'm forgetting. Russell something. Not Russell Brand. Not the British former comedian. No. Russell something Brand. He's the owner of Virgin. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. I'll probably remember his name after this YouTube video is done. Damn it. But yeah. Something Brand. Russell. He's the owner of Virgin. But anyway, you know who I'm talking about, okay? He's an old white man with white hair, okay? You know who I'm talking about. Which brings me to, so I've gone on this whole tirade of, success, YouTube success. So you need, as a man, you need to build your profile little by little. And more often than not, our success really comes in our later years, after age 30. Because I thought as a young person, we should all have it all figured out by age 25. And some of us are still struggling with certain things and life doesn't always work out the way you planned it. But it doesn't end there. It's not the end of the world. Keep grinding. Now, coming back to, the main topic of this video. Now I've highlighted how, the journey of some of these people. Angry man. There's some of these content creators, man. I want to draw comparisons to Candace Owens because I think Candace Owens did this very well. She had I don't want to say smooth because if Candace Owens sees this and she hears me saying she had a smooth transition towards relevancy, she's gonna laugh at me. She says, "MrShowTym, are you kidding? I had to go through this and I had to go through these court appearances, these okay, me scusi, okay." But this is just my perspective in terms of and Candace Owens is clean cut. She had a more smoother, perceived approach to relevancy. The Donald Trump elections helped her greatly. Okay, she covered it and people tuned in. Why? Because Candace Owens is clean cut. Candace Owens is an anomaly. She's a black female, and what do we know about black females? The rude, loud, obnoxious, and the stereotype. Candace Owens is the antithesis, the opposite of that. She's rational, she's smart, and she's credible. She is very resourceful. Candace Owens will take you down. Not physically, I don't know about that, I'm not, but in terms of as an influencer, she took down Kamala Harris, sent her crashing, burning down in flames. Which brings me to certain content creators that I have, I deem them as my predecessors. Okay, I learned from Coach Greg Adams, man, the angry man. You guys are wasting precious talent. You guys could do so much more. I mean, look, the algorithm is one thing. The censorship of conservative voices is a factor, yes. But my goodness, man, I mean, remember the three elements I highlighted. The problem with some of these guys are your Donovan Sharps, your O'Shea Duke Jacksons, your Tommy Sotomayor's, Angry. You guys are not marketable. You're not. Some of you guys are a little too ratchet. You're too ratchet to be marketable. Now, Angry Man, I've had a private conversation with the Angry Man. I've hopped on your show, and I was very excited to actually, have the privilege to even talk to Angry Man, for an opportunity for him to know who I am, to know I exist. And there was a time where I actually sent him an email. We had a conversation back and forth that it really didn't transpire well. I understand Angry Man is the Angry Man. I don't know whether you can say he was living up to his nickname, the Angry Man. I don't think so. Angry Man is very short-tempered. It doesn't take much to just make him him, because the problem is his audience. He has a lot of people trolling him. He's frustrated the fact that he's not being platformed on other platforms such as your Fresh and Fit. They played around and trolled him. They did the whole bait and switch. He's not being platformed by Valuetainment and so forth and so forth. Now, I've defended Angry Man as to why, but from what he can fix, from Angry Man's perspective, from what he can fix, he's not the most marketable internet content creator. Why? Because Angry Man, you focus solely on a particular demographic, BMs. It's the communitar this, the communitar that, and with that, you're gonna attract a certain type of audience, a ratchet type of audience. And yes, I'm sad to say that the communitar is typically that type of archetype, ratchetness. And also the topics you talk about rappers. Oh, did Kodak Black really diss Cardi, Meek Mill's baby mama? And I'm like, when you talk about these topics, man, you're really wasting precious talent, because Angry Man is that much intelligent. A lot of some things about politics, American politics, I learned from him. Some people might give me credit. Yeah, just know that some of the things I learned from Angry Man. These guys are my predecessors. Now, yes, I have my own unique takes on it, but fundamentally speaking, yeah, I learned from these guys. And they really sell themselves short with their ratchetness online, getting into these beefs. And it really, not only the beefs, because everyone succumbs to beefs, but also it boils down to the simplest of things. Angry Man, he's smart. he smokes cigars like Andrew Tate, and then he spits like. He's doing his live streams on his backyard porch. And I'm like, are you serious, dude? How can Kevin from Sales share your YouTube video on his Facebook profile with other family members who are more clean-cut, conservative, and they really want to share your message, but you're too ratchet? Tommy Sotomayor, same goes for you too. You busy cursing, you're going a little too hard, you're focused on a particular niche, and that's what's stopping you from growing. You talk about racism this, racism that, O'Shea, Duke Jackson, like you're not marketable. You're really not. People don't want to hear that. If you're gonna grow, you need to cater to a wide, more broader audience, a multi-demographic, multi-ethnic audience. And you're talking about the ills of the community, and then how BMs simp their son husbands. Yeah, I'm not saying never talk about that stuff, but you're known for that. You're solely focused on that. I'm going to talk about the plight of BMs because I'm loyal to the brothers, and a lot of BMs have been left. Our voices, and you're on that pro blackity black tirade, and this is part of the reason why Anthony Brian Logan left you in the dust. This is part of the reason why Coach Greg Adams gets an invite over to Valuetainment with Adam Sosnick, because they talk about even CGA himself, man. He damages his own image with the silly segment of debauchery on his channel. Straggle and Sniggle Theater. Oh, gorditas. Oh, the beluga elephant, the beluga whales. Oh man, look at that fuba bit. Oh, did it. He plays that music. Oh man, no, look at, oh, that's horrible. Oh, the humanity. What do you want? CGA, you're goofy. You're being goofy. Now, there's a certain type of goofiness about you that I like, but Straggle and Sniggle Theater, that's what makes people. We don't take you seriously. We don't take you seriously. Yes, you may have a few non-black people listening to you, but you're a little too goofy for you to really skyrocket into fame that you deserve. CGA, you had like what? Yes, you have like 10 channels demonetized, but man, CGA, you have a business acumen. You have like the blue chip mindset, and this is part of the reason why your Candace Owens of the world, your Matt Walshes cannot afford to mention your name. Now, shout out to I give you respect, because when you do talk about marriage, Matt Walsh has had his takes on marriage. Shout out to Matt Walsh. He also has like his older videos where he was doing like this car video, this low quality car video, before he was associated with the Daily Wire. Again, you see, show your work. All right. I was like, oh, hey, Matt Walsh. Back, before he was doing, what is a woman, or am I, the transition, the character development makes you credible. I like it. This is what makes people a household name. But coming back, man, look, CGA, I know that you have some expertise when it comes to the corrupt system, when it comes to child support and divorce laws. Yes, the system is rigged against men, and Matt Walsh cannot. But in a perfect world, you should have already gone toe to toe with Matt Walsh and crushed him in a debate. Now, Matt Walsh cannot afford to mention your name for two reasons. One, you're goofy, unmarketable. Your image Not how, I mean, your overall appeal. Okay? Goofy. The football pins. Like people don't want to see that. Segs with the woman just the what do you call it, the JUCO. Oh yeah, JUCO. Just pay them off and send them home to their dad. Like, not marketable. You need to be a little bit more clean cut, as O'Shea Du Jackson once said about Tommy Sotomayor. The other reason why Matt Walsh cannot afford to mention your name or even do collaborations with you or be associated with you is because he knows that he'll get crushed in the debate when it comes to marriage. I mean, these trapcons, they start to encroach on our side of the sphere, on our side of the red pill, talking about, marriage laws, women. Yeah, we just obliterate them out of the park. We blow them out of the park. Pause. Okay. Same thing with the Hodge twins. They're a little bit more clean cut. I mean, well, they do some jokes. There are some controversial jokes, but hey, their white audience seems to like it. So hey, have at it. The Hodge twins are a little bit more polished with their appeal. This is what I mean. They, with regards to the jokes, they're not polished in terms of their jokes, but they are a little bit more clean cut with regards to staying away from scandals. Now, some of you can't even afford. You're all about scandals. Yes, I'm looking at you, Myron, fresh and fit. Fresh impregnated this woman. You're not marketable. You need to have a marketable archetype going on, okay? And Angry Man, coming back to you, man. If Angry Man were to shift over, because Angry Man has this whole hip hop thing going on, and it's not working. I mean, yeah, if you want to be like a world star hip hop sensation, yeah, okay, fine. But if you want to be taken seriously, if you want to earn your ticket, well, excuse me, not earn, because you've already earned. But if you want to have more of like be more marketable in the game, to sit across the table from your Ben Shapiro's and Matt Walsh's and talk about politics, your channel would skyrocket through the roof overnight. I mean, yes, you have 751,000 subscribers, but to be honest, that's more thanks to the shorts. And what are your shorts based off of? Oh, single mother this, single mother that. I can't believe it, man. That's single mother. Like, not marketable. You're catering to the lowest common denominator, to the low RQ types. And you could do like massive damage if you were to shift away from that and be a little bit more formal. I'm not saying formal as in you have to wear suits. No, formal like in terms of, again, your image. You can't be like, imagine if Candace Owens has talked about your Cardi B, but it's in a different type of context. It's more like a intellectual exposing of Hollywood, how they operate, how they function. There's a different. You can talk about the exact same topic, but the context is night and day. Angry Man talks about it like, yeah, man. I mean, even when Angry Man talks about it, he has like this panel. The guys that come on are these random people. No disrespect to them, but I have to say this: your audience is you. You are what you eat. You are your audience. And if people see that, you have people in the background, like just like these random people, and they're like, people like wearing like these hair, these bonnets, and they got these dreadlocks going on, smoking weed, like, yeah, man. I'll tell you what, Angry Man, I give my takes, man. So I got the story, man, when I was young, right? My pops left home, man, and never saw him again, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, shut up. No, you're not growing from that. You're not growing. You're not growing. You associate with the lowest common denominator, your plebeians, your peasants. You are not growing, sir. You're not. Candace Owens, I see the people that she tends to share on her Instagram or she tends to mention. It's like, yo, look, just be presentable and speak with conviction, speak properly. Candace Owens, you wouldn't be caught dead platforming some ninja, some hood rats, some hoodlum, smoking weed or some BW in a bonnet. Somebody, no. Candace Owens is not doing that. And if she did, she would lose credibility, she would lose respect, she would lose subscribers. Candace Owens keeps it clean. Anthony Brian Logan keeps it clean. Anthony Brian Logan, he stays away, he tends to stay away, not shy away. He tends to stay clear of, talking about the community. I mean, he mentions it here and there, but it's very short. Keeps it very brief. But he caters to a variety of, a wide range, a broader audience. That's how Anthony Brian Logan was able to reach 1 million. Not with shorts, but just being consistent, having those intellectual takes on politics. Shout out to Greg Foreman as well. Greg Foreman doesn't talk about the community of this. I mean, he does, depending on the video topic. But again, he has a more marketable type. He's like, a ninja that is able to, articulate himself in an intelligent fashion. Sure, he talks about the community here and there, but it's only in the appropriate context. Angry Man, I emailed you. Angry Man responded in a less than respectful tone, but I understand why he did it. I understand why he had that visceral response to me. And basically, he was dropping F-bombs, and that's all I understand, because maybe in his mind he's like, oh, he thought I was trolling him, and I was just giving him I wasn't telling you what to do, Angry Man. I mean, it was in all in good faith, but your response was very vigorous, and you're dropping F-bombs, and I understand. I don't even take it personally, because you didn't know who I was. I'm just a random email thingy. But yeah, man, Angry Man, you could really cause some serious damage if you were to just tweak certain things about your image. Same goes for you, CGA. This is why Anton Daniels gets invites over to Fox News. He's more or less the same. He's very similar to, your coach Rick Adams, and he's very similar to you guys. It's just that I don't like the type of people that Anton Daniels tends to, collaborate with, because it's just, they get into these panels, this might be risky, and it's like 10 people on a panel, and it's just a bunch of screaming, hey, let me finish my point, hold on, and it's just chaos. And the community, they love that. It's red meat. Now look at Piers Morgan. 3 or 4 people at the time. I'm not saying there's no shouting back and forth, but it's a little bit more controlled. Okay? It's a little bit more controlled and mainstream media friendly. Yeah, man. But yeah, look. CGA, man, your blue chip mindset, if you were to just focus on that can serve as a real eye opener. Okay? But yeah, man, look, on a serious note, some of you guys, man, you could really take the world by storm if you just clean up your image and be more intellectual with your talking points, and you could again consider my advice. Just try it out. You don't need to take my advice, just try it out. Look at the people who have success. It's not like they're doing magic. Well, Pretty Things did magic, and that's how she able to gain like millions of subscribers. Candace Owens didn't do magic. Matt Walsh didn't do magic. They offer something of value, and above all else, they are marketable. If you've been watching this far, thank you so much for watching, and remember, the Matrix has you. Follow the white rabbit. Don't fall for the psyops. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.